Now let's go to our final design where we'll be creating our mold. For this example, let's simplify this design because right now it is pretty complicated as it is. There are too many holes and it's going to take a while to cover all of this. Okay. For the sake of demonstration, we're going to limit it to a few numbers. So instead of having all this nine of this, let's limit it to only three. Two of them here, and let's limit this one to two as well. Okay, so this is a simplified version of our complicated design, just for the sake of uh, the example and simplicity. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is click on this insert mold folders. Right now, if you look into this on the tree manager, the surface body has no information here. But if you click on it, it has created the options for the cavity surface, the parting surface, and the core surfaces. Okay, now all we need to do is follow all these five commands in serial. Right now, the tooling split is not available, so it will be available once you have created the parting surface. So let's start with the parting line. Select the parting lines. Now for the parameter, we select the pull direction. So it's going to be the front plane. The direction is here on the other side, right? The draft angle is 1 degree. If you want to look into the analysis, this is how it will look like. And you click OK. And as you can see, it has created the parting line. Next, we want to shut off these holes from inside out. So basically we're creating one surface that is closing this part from the inside, so these holes. The reason is to create those parts from the outside cores and partings. That being said, we can shut off these areas using one of the techniques from the surface planar surfaces, or we can use the shut off surfaces directly, which will select all of this automatically. Okay, so go into the shut off surfaces. You will see it has picked up all the necessary surfaces at one go. The first thing you want to do is check a tick off this called show call outs. Then if you look into it, we want to close the surface on the inside, but it has selected also the outside. So we need to unselect these. Okay, so we're going to unselect all of this. Now this side. Hmm. Make sure you're not selecting new edges, otherwise there will be some open loops. There is existing. Okay, and this. And I guess we're left with this bottom portion here. Okay, so if you have selected the show preview, you can see it has created a surface around here to shut off those portions. Now let's look into the show callouts section. If you select this, you will see it has selected an option called the tangent. If you want, you can change it to all contact. So depending, if you have some curvature or curved surfaces, you can select all tangent. Otherwise, it is suggested to use all contact in these surfaces. Okay, once done, make sure the need is selected and click OK. So now it has created a shut off surface. The next thing what we need is creating the parting surface. Okay, and the parting surface will be created based on the parting line you have created previously. So let's go to the select the parting surface. It has already selected the parting line and creating the plane of the parting surface. We can increase the size of it because the mold you're creating has to be within the bounds of this. If you want to modify this, or let's say change this, you can select also the normal to surface. In that case you will see it has a slight downward trend. Usually or people use this so for uh, designs that are not usual, or let's say curvatured or some other things. The example I mentioned, when the parting line is instead of a straight line can be a curved line, or let's say have some angles. Okay, so once this is done, okay, we can select OK, or if you want to modify it further you can select also the manual mode, whereby modifying these pink points you can change the size of these surfaces. Okay, for this one we're not going to go to the manual mode and click OK. So now we have created the parting surface, and as you can notice the tooling split option is now visible. Let's click on the tooling split. Now we'll create the main cavity and mold of the whole system. So again, select the plane of the pool, in this case the front plane, right? And we're gonna draw a rectangle around it. So let's say we are creating this design as a rectangle design, and it has to be within this surface area. Okay, once you exit the sketch editing, it will automatically take you to the other portion where it is selecting the parting surface automatically, the cavity part and the core part. Okay, so what we need to do is increase the size depending on how much housing you want to put in. This height will be changed. uh, let's say you want to add some cooling lines, some pull-ups, some pins and other things, and you need enough space for that. Then it has to be larger, otherwise you can keep it this small also. So depending on your design requirements basically. And once this is done, click OK, and this is how the mold has been created. And as you can see in the solid body part, different portions has been created. So let's select this and change the transparency of it. So right click on it and let's isolate this. Okay, so as you can see this is the cavity portion of it. Okay, um, let's exit this and go to the other part. This is the tool splitting, so this is the press part, and let's look into the parting line. So this is the parting line, and if we do a cross section, let's say in this side, in between section is where the material we will be transferring from injecting molding or some other molding techniques will be filled. So this is the solid that you are going to create. Okay, so let's exit the isolate mode now. Now let's go into seeing this split again. So now that the design is like this, you will notice that this is the portion where most of the issues will occur. So here the design is pressing the tool, so that hole will be created. But this side, if we create this, pulling out the design will be a little tough because it's gonna get stuck here. Uh, so we need some movable parts around these regions so that we can easily create our mold. Thus, we need to create our core design. Okay, so let's isolate, I mean, exit isolation and hide this top portion of it. Right click on it and hide. Okay, so this is design, and these are the portion that might seem a little problematic at the moment. Okay, for the sake of example, let's do for only one of the sides, and you guys can practice on the other sides. So select this option called core. Once you've selected the core, you need to select the surface where you wanna create this core portion and resolve the issues here. Okay, so select this. Now it's gonna ask you to generate the sketch. So I'm gonna make it perpendicular to my view. Of course, remember this is your parting line here, right? And whatever you're creating has to be with respect to the parting line itself. So it is pretty important that you're selecting the parting line. Okay, so let's take this tool here, center line, and maybe just maybe let's create this. Let's figure out this distance in this tool. Let's fix it to 5. Okay, now then let's take the loop line tool, and from there, assuming this is the split line, we create or design something like this. It has to be a closed loop, right? And let's say this bottom line, we just make it fixed using this smart dimension. Let's set this angle to 75, and this one also 75. Okay, and let's see, let's make the center point of this line and this one as coincident, so it will move left to the left a little. Okay, and let's say the dimension here as 35. And for this, let's keep it as 44. Okay, so now the sketch is fully defined. For the sake of smoothness, let's add a fillet on the corners. Okay, and let's make it 10 millimeters. Okay, so this is how it should look like. And once done, click OK and exit the sketch. So it's gonna take you to the next step where you wanna, it's asking you where do you wanna extend it, right? So now it has selected the sketch, correct sketch, it has selected the correct face. The draft angle is also set so that you can pull it out easily. The only thing that is it has selected for the parting line is not correct. So we're going to clear the selection because this has to be the same part where as the cavity itself. So the one we hid from our tree, we have to select that one. Okay. Now that you have selected that, let's change this height. Okay, it doesn't matter how much you change, you will see that it is restricted to the that cavity portion itself. Okay, and on the other side it is only, it's gonna extend only till the surface, the shadow surfaces. Okay, once you're done, click OK, and that's it. It has created the core bodies here. To view them, what you need to do is first hide them. Okay, and then again show them this, and for this same thing, hide them and then show them again. Now you see it has created one section around here. So let's do one thing, is hide all the surfaces we had. So let's hide this, let's hide this, and let's hide this. Okay, we have hidden everything, and we can do is explode the exploded view, and select this one. Let's go to the exploded view, then select this one. We're taking the core out, which has this push here, right? Then we can take this one out, and we can take this one out. So this is how the whole mold design will look like, right? The central design, the side core design, the cavity, and the press all together. Of course, for this example, I've only created this core for only one of the sides, but in reality, you have to create for all of those sides, all of the sides here. Okay, I'm not going to do this for this example. This will be a practice for you. I'll be uploading this document also on the on Blackboard. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. With this, I'll be ending the exploration of mold toolbox, and this is the last video for this workshop also. Thank you.